I was in a small county in Ohio with my boyfriend at the time, and he had told me about this bridge that he knew we could go to, and so we were there for maybe about 15 or 20 minutes when a police officer showed up and saw that we were graffitiing the bridge, asked us to come with him to his car, and then drove us to the sheriff's office, where then he began to process us and told us we were under arrest. We arrived in jail after 5 p.m., so we weren't allowed food until the next morning. I thought that we would only get a day or two in jail and a fine, and we would have to clean it up because it was some graffiti on a bridge. We were sentenced to 30 days in jail. The first couple hours were very scary. We didn't really talk to anyone, and some people heckled us for a while. Like, being two art students in jail, like, we drew on people's envelopes and like, sort of, I found a lot of connection with the inmates. People think that it's like people in jail are the bad guys, and they're born that way, and that, like, they need to be there. Everyone's human, and you have to put that humanity back into people and know that, like, they have a family and they came from somewhere and maybe someone hurt them. But then when you get out and you've paid for it, like, does that mean necessarily that you're forgiven? In America, we incarcerate more people than anywhere else in the world. We do it through private funded prisons that are for profit. I think that, like, photography for me is just another language. You know, instead of me sitting here and talking myself hoarse through debate about a subject, if I could show you something and give you that hard evidence and say, look at this, you know, like, how can you argue with this? I will have to say that one of the hardest lessons of becoming a photographer since I started like 10 years ago has been to slow down and, like, look at the frame. The other day I was walking the dog by the gas station by my house, and, like, where the phone booth is, then someone had, like, left their coffee in a lotto scratcher. And so it was like thinking about this moment where it was like you might have only a couple coins in your pocket and you can't do anything, you can't make a phone call, but you can go maybe get a coffee in a lotto scratcher. And so it kind of changed the space. It's like time is so fleeting that if you don't stop and take that moment maybe to ponder that thing, then it might be lost.